Instead of us just giving up after the first 2 tries, you're late, Araka tells Darren and me as we are approaching her and the others. The penalty for tardiness in my class is 20 push-ups, and you better not try to cheat. I'll make you wear a dunce hat and send you to sit in a corner. Fine, I'll do the push-up. How about you do 20 push-ups first? I do mine afterwards. Fine, I'll do the push-ups. Since when does Araka get to tell us what to do? Dylan says. Who cares, I say as I get down on the ground and start doing the push-ups. It's just a bit of a physical exercise anyway. I'd rather do this than waste my time arguing about it endlessly. I suppose that makes sense. Yes, but still, it's a matter of principle, Darren says. Besides, I'm wearing heavy armor, so I don't feel like taking it all off just to play along Araka's comedy routine. Oh yeah, Araka says, well, what if I decide that I no longer want to play along with your comedic effort of trying to defeat a god then? I was just helping you out of boredom anyway. Weren't you the ones who begged me on their hands and knees to give them information they needed? Actually, all I did was ask you a simple question, I say, as I get up from the ground. You're the one who jumped on the opportunity to take your vengeance on the gods with the first chance you got. Not me. Ha, Araka says. Come to think of it, you never did properly beg me to help you. How about we fix the situation by now, by getting on your knees right now? If you sound desperate enough, I may just agree to continue your little training sessions. Or maybe you could just stop wasting everyone's time and get on with the meeting, Iluna says in a firm tone of voice. We didn't come here to hear your ramblings. Alright, fine, Araka says. I was just having a little fun, that's all. There is no need to be so uptight about every single thing. Everyone gather around. It's time to check up on all your progress. I'm not sure if it's only my imagination, but Araka seemed to be acting a lot more obedient towards Iluna nowadays. Yeah, I was thinking that as well. She did say something that Araka heard about, and then she was like, I don't want to fuck with Iluna anymore for some reason. I don't know what the hell was she pointing towards. And she's also taking her more seriously than she did before. I think her whole attitude towards her exercise has started to slowly change her ever since the time when Iluna threatened to throw her back into the Magium. It looks like, even though she won't admit it, Araka might have gained a newfound respect for Iluna after seeing the way she confronted her during those events. I was thinking that the god of time said that most of the shit that we needed for the trials was given to him by Araka, her emotions, because she was so scared of dying at the hands of the Magium, which is interesting considering she is so nonchalant about facing anyone, like gods and like any goddamn situation. She's like, it's like she knows she won't die, it does not matter what happens. But the Magium, she was like, yeah, we are dead. That was the one time she was that fucking scared, and that I believe that's the reason. It's not that she is not scared of dying, it's more of that she knows that nothing can kill her or something like that. Anyway, where were we? After seeing the way she confronted her during those events. Let's start with Darren, then Araka says. This should be good. Tell me, Darren, how much progress have you made in contacting the spirit from the magical plane that you're linked with? Is it 0? Please tell me it's 0 again. That would be hilarious. Well, maybe it would be more than 0 if your advice would amount to anything other than meaningless gibberish, Darren says. I mean, how are we supposed to get any useful information out of vague phrases such as you need to untangle the flow of your aura with your mind until you can see it clearly in your head? Or you can think of the link to your spirit as a very long invisible string which you can grab onto and pull on until you manage to get the spirit's attention. Only an oaf like you could see my words of wisdom as anything other than pure blessing, Araka says. Have any idea how many would kill to have me as their mentor? Well, not specifically me, but someone like me, the thousands of years of knowledge about magic and who originates from the very plane of existence where all the magical energy in this world is coming from. And instead, look what you're doing. You're just squandering away all of this immense potential for the simple reason that you're too lazy to try to understand what I'm teaching you. I did try to understand, Darren says, but none of what you said is making any sense to me. But then try harder, Araka says. You ask better questions. What is it that you are having trouble with? Is it the visualization part? Is it the fact that your magical sense is too weak to tell the difference between the countless layers that make up your aura? Could even do elementary stuff like being able to tell how old a person is from analyzing their aura. I have no idea what you weaklings are capable of. All I know is that your magic sense is nowhere near as refined as mine, but that could mean anything. We can't tell anything beyond the basics. We can't tell anything beyond the basics, you stupid old hag, Hadrick says. I already told you this yesterday. What are the basics for you people? Yeah, from her perspective, basics would mean completely different things. Arka says, being able to tell somebody's age or the race from their aura is considered as basic on the magical plane. Can you do that at least? No, of course not, Hardrick says. All we can tell from an aura is how much magical power someone has. We mostly just use this to figure out where our enemies are and if they can cast any magic. That's it? Araka says, shocks. Well, why the hell didn't you say that from the beginning? That changes everything. What you morons need to do first is basic aura training. Start with breathing exercises, work your way up from there. Seriously, how could you even get to this level of magical proficiency without mastering the basics? With your levels of magic power, it should be an elementary task to figure out someone's age. Just focus on the small rotating currents right above a person's head, the ones that give off a cold vibe, even if they look like they're letting off a steam. You won't see them on your first try, but if you look really carefully, you'll notice that they are masked by a sort of waterfall that is blocking your view. Obviously, when I'm telling you to look carefully, I mean with your magical sense, not with your eyes. That description sounds even worse than the one you gave us yesterday. And Hardrick says, or even make this stuff up. Yeah, Darren says, if you ask me, she's probably doing it on purpose in order to make it. Wait a minute. He then gets closer to Flower in order to have a better look at Araka's amulet. You just say something about a waterfall. Darren says he looks at the amulet intently. Yeah, the age is hidden right behind it. Araka says, you need to imagine yourself passing through the waterfall, grabbing the rotating currents between your hands until they stop moving. That's when the age number will become clear enough for you to read. Hardwick says, Darren, did you hear that? I think she wants you to go for a swim. Darren does not say anything. He keeps looking straight at Araka's amulet in deep concentration. Darren, Hardwick says, no, this can't be right. Darren tells Araka after a short while, it tells me that your age is negative 315. Unless I'm supposed to decipher it or something, the number doesn't tell me anything. Negative 315? What does that even mean? Don't read my age, you dope. Araka says, I'm hiding it on purpose so people can tell exactly how old I am. I've also taught Luna to do the same. Read someone else's aura, like that of the ice mage or that mute girl. Neither of the ages is hidden in any way, and they should be easy for you to see. I mean, if you want to hide your age, shouldn't you make it more believable? Something like 100 or like 150, so no one can tell your Araka. Just think that you're some spirit trapped inside an amulet. But she went with negative 315. Seriously. Alright. Darren does as Araka says, and he is now shifts his gaze towards Kate. After giving her a pondering look for good 10 seconds, he finally decides to speak again, addressing Kate directly. Kate, you are 22 years old, he says. Is that correct? Kate is 22? I thought she was at least like, I don't know why I thought that, but I thought that she was like 26, 27 or something. Yes, Kate says, I think so. I've never got to meet my parents, so I don't know my exact birthday. Based on the age estimation they gave me when I first joined the beacon, what you said should be accurate. And Layla, you're 19 years old, Darren says after he also looks at Layla for a few seconds. Layla nods. Barry is 28. Oh, Barry is 28? He's old. Like he said, and Hardrick is, Darren says, but he then suddenly stops. Then he stops suddenly while he keeps looking above Hardrick's head. I think something's wrong here, Darren says. Hardrick's aura shows me that he is over 100 years old, but that can't be his real age, can it? Hardrick laughs. The aura is not wrong, Darren, Hardrick says. We giants live a lot longer than humans. By your standards, I probably appear to be about as old as you, but in reality I'm a lot older, huh? Darren says, I guess the reason why I was so surprised is because I always keep forgetting that you're a giant in your dwarf form. You look as if you're in your 40s. What about me? Flower asked Darren. Well, what does my aura say about my own age? Your age, Darren says as he looks above her head for fear. She should be 10 years old, even though well, technically, would she be 10 years old? Her body is 10 years old, but her aura should be that of a 30-year-old. I think she's 30 years old. He then opens his mouth to say something, which changes his mind and only answers for a few seconds later. 9 years old? Darren says you're 9 years old? No, Flower says, visibly frustrated. That's not what it says. It says I'm 29. Petal, tell him what it really says. The only thing I see when I look at your age is the number 9. Luna says, no, there's 2 right there, right before that 9. You know it, Flower says, as I can see and smirking in the background. I can sense the aura above my head just fine. It says 29, only you can see it. I can only see the number 9 when I look above Flower's head. Stop teasing her, guys. Flower can be whatever age she wants to be. Listen, regardless of what her aura says, I think we can all agree on her real age is. Flower is so fixated about this number. We all know how long you have lived. Huh, that's an interesting question. I would like to ask that, actually. So I can't, yeah.